Okay, that's the wrong. Okay, you are live. Please introduce yourself, introduce the run, and make a countdown when the time starts.
Okay, hello, I am Leah. I speedrun a bunch of games, and this is far from the last you're going to be seeing of me in this marathon. um, this is one of the games I speedrun, Wario Land the Shake Dimension, also known as Shake It, in fact, more commonly known as Shake It. It's Shake Dimension in Power Regions. Of course, I'm from the UK, but yeah, this is... we got a pretty long introduction here, actually, so I'll just explain some more stuff during the intro cutscene, and I'll start that in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is the 5th game in the Wario Land series. Well, kind of. Virtual Boy Wario Land is a thing as well. So it's kind of the 6th game. It's also the last one.
Just a request, but can you lower your mic a bit?
Oh yes, sorry, I'm talking quite loud. Whoops. There we are. Anyway, yeah, this is currently the last game in the Wario Land series. And yeah, it released in 2008, so it's coming up on 17 years now, and unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to get much more, but look at this game, though. It's a really good-looking game. There's, like, anime-style cutscenes here, and the actual game is also, like, it's pretty much entirely hand-drawn. All of the backgrounds, all of the animations and such. There are over 2,000 individual frames of Wario in this game, fun fact. And as far as the speedrun goes, if you're familiar with, like, Wario Land 4, I assume that's one of the more popular Wario Land games in speedrunning. If you're familiar with that game, this one's a bit on the slower side. You don't so much go fast in this game. Rather, you tend to just... A lot of the time save comes from just playing quite cleanly. There are some skips here and there. And the main event of the speedrun, really, is the boss fights. We fight 6 bosses in this run, and, well, 6 with an asterisk bosses in this run. And all of them have quick kill strats that massively speed them up compared to how you're supposed to play them in a casual playthrough. On that note, there's not too much else to talk about in this intro. It's a very long intro. You actually have about 4.5 minutes before you can take control of Wario in this game. Which makes it a bit difficult to do attempts sometimes, but, we get used to it. And I mean, it's a fun intro.
Sunshine isn't that better with the intro cutscene?
Look at Wario, he just doesn't care. Like, this Murphle is... Oh yeah, that thing's called a Murphle. He's gone through some horrible stuff and Wario just doesn't care. Until he says treasure. And I mean, that is, like, that's kind of the Wario we know.
Mario still wants to become rich.
No matter how many times you shake it, that's a title drop. That's the first time the title's been dropped in the game. The Shake Dimension, that's the other title drop. Not too much longer, and then we'll actually get to enter the Shake Dimension. But yeah, this intro cutscene, you get used to it. It's nice to, take a little break between attempts sometimes.
Let's go.
So here we meet up with an old friend. /enemy. bunch of mashing through text boxes here. To essentially sum up what they're saying, we need to beat the bosses of 5 worlds to get a boss emblem from each of them, and then we can face the final boss. That's pretty much the summary of how the game goes. And I'll explain more as needed. And here we are. So our main method of movement is shoulder bashing. So we do this by pressing the 1 button, and it's pretty much the fastest way Wario can move by default. Honestly, not too much else to it, really. At least at this stage. Here's our first instance of tilt controls. Whoops. There we are. There are a lot of tilt controls in this run. Also, motion controls. Shake, and you pound the ground. And additionally, if you ground pound from... if you ground pound far enough from the ground, that creates the same effect as punching the ground. So in that case, we were actually able to avoid waiting for our punch to recharge. Also lets you break through those metal blocks like that. This is a dasherator, and this is the fastest you can go. In a few segments of the run, we want to be holding the dasherator boost as much as we can. That is one of the challenges that could come up in some later levels. Got another one right here. And you can actually turn around on the spot if you turn around and then jump. Whoops, I messed up there. Messed up my movement a little bit. I meant to skid and come to a stop from that boost, but that's fine. So at the end of every level, you find a Murphle cage. You have to shake it to break it open, and from there, much like the frog switches in Wario Land 4, you then have to run back to the start of the level as fast as possible. And thankfully that one has a very lenient time limit because it's just a tutorial level. I'm just realizing I forgot to open splits of my own. Oh well. That's fine, I can run this without a timer on my end. Anyway, now that we've beaten aboard the sweet stuff, we can enter Captain Syrup's shop. And this is one of the key parts of the run. Specifically, the fact that we have to buy the area maps. So yeah, before you can go into a new area, you have to buy the corresponding map. And that means that we need to be collecting money throughout the run. Specifically 501,000 coins throughout the run. So, with every level, there is a specific money route. There are some sources of coins that are faster than others, so we route accordingly. We kind of have an expected coin total for every level, pretty much. Welcome to Stone Carving City. Which already has one of my favourite soundtracks in the game, by the way. A little skip we can do here, if I get it. Nice. If you hold down the 2 button, pro tip, if you just hold down the 2 button, you will always get a bounce off any enemy that you land on. There is also only one bounce height. You can either get a high bounce or just like a neutral bop. So really the movement's quite simple in this game. It's simple but snappy. It feels quite good, to be honest. Whoops. And we're already at the Murphle cage. I went out of my way, with that path that's now blocked off by the blue blocks, I went out of my way to get a diamond, which are worth 10k, and they are invaluable, pretty much. easily the best coin source. The big gold coins are also quite useful. They're worth 1,000 each. So just like that, stone carving city's done. And about those blue and red blocks, the red ones will stay closed during the main stage, and the blue ones will stay closed during the run-back portion.
Let's go.
This level's our introduction to bomb blocks, which will detonate if you touch them, or if you cause shockwave. This is also our introduction to moneybags, which are another one of our best coin sources. Now the thing about moneybags is that their value changes depending on the world you're in. Specifically, they get more valuable as you progress through the game. And these ones in Area 1 kind of suck. They're only worth 3,000 each. So given the time it takes to shake them, it's often not really worth it. But there are only a few we go out of the way for, compared to later worlds. Got a little tilt control section coming up here. That actually worked out completely fine. I messed that up a little bit, but it worked. Little skip here. You aim 2 ticks. So basically you can aim up to 4 ticks in either direction in a cannon, or when throwing something. If you aim specifically 2 ticks to the right there, you can skip that whole section pretty much. I'm going to do a little jump here just to take the upper path, because there are some hidden gold coins. Specifically 8,000 gold up there, so it's quite worth it. I'll see if I get this. Does that get it? Nice. That's there's about a 2 or 3 frame window to get that. That is a jump that skips most of the run back portion. If you didn't get that, you'd have to continue running a little bit and then take an extra pipe. Loses about 3 seconds. Thankfully I got that. You can get above 2 minutes on that run back, but it's quite difficult. This is our introduction to swinging ropes. Honestly, not too much to say about them. They're kind of there. Momentum works a little weirdly on them. Also, every time I'm coming off a ladder, I'm doing what's called a ladder cancel. Nice. Forgot to mention, I was too busy talking about ladders. If you touch that pole, you can't actually come off it. You have to jump off it. So what I went for there was I tried to slip between the pole and the wall so I could fall down that part, and thankfully I got that. It's a little bit tight. But anyway, ladder cancels, which I just missed. Once you get up to the top of a ladder, Wario will do a little animation of just climbing up to the surface. And if you let off the direction on the D-pad during this section, whoops, that was not supposed to happen. If you let off the direction on the D-pad, and then press 1, you can actually cancel this animation. So, you've got a couple dozen of these animations throughout the run, so it saves a couple seconds if you get them all. Coming up on the run back portion here. Ah, I didn't get that. I'm going to take the checkpoint for this, actually. I forgot to practice this back up. I would have liked to break that block before I hit the checkpoint, but I didn't. I didn't get it. This won't be too long, I swear. So if I had broken that block, I would have released water in that section. I did not. So to back it up, I have to do the run back dry, as they call it. Which isn't too bad, really, but I messed it up there because I forgot to do it. But it's fine, I remember now. Nice. Gotta do some very quick turnaround jumps there to make that work, but it does work out. The alternative would be to stun an enemy and then throw it into that block. But sure, that works out. Whoops, I tried to go for something silly there and it didn't work. Kind of tried to go for like an IL only ending there. I say IL only, I used to go for it in any percent, but oh well. Jumped a little too early to make it work. But that's fine. Now going back to the theme of tilt controls, this level is pretty heavy on tilt controls. Namely, these, I think they're called unibuckets. I'm going to be honest, I can't remember what they're actually called, but these things that you have to use for most of the level. Little skip we can do here, enemy bounce. Yeah, unibuckets, that's definitely what they're called. Which are entirely tilt controlled. And the thing about them is that when you jump in one, you actually cannot control your momentum past that point, so you have to slow down before you jump. Little diamond here. Very much worth going for. Area 1 as a whole is just not very good for coins, so you know, we just want to hit the bare minimum to get to Area 2, and then just not much more than that, because it's more worth our time to get coins in the later worlds. Oops. Little money bag down here. Oh, nice. Got a fast money bag. So sometimes when you shake a money bag, the coins can be of higher denominations. It's completely random, but it can happen. So I'm moving a little bit. Oops. There we are. Momentum's really important to control in that section. That didn't work. Okay, I have to do a pretty long backup for that. I would have liked to bounce on that guy and just get straight up there, but didn't quite get it. Just like that, we're back into run back. This one is a fairly lengthy run back, and we also go out of our way here a little bit to get some coins. Of note, when I'm entering a dasherator or a cannon or a pipe or anything similar, there's actually a little bit of movement I'm doing, or rather a little bit of an easy oversight to make when you're playing the game casually, or maybe just speedrunning it kind of casually, which is that when you enter one of those, you need to hold in a direction on the D-pad when you're tapping down. Because if you don't, then Wario will have like a little slouching animation on the thing before he can enter it, which loses a couple frames every time. The exception is if you're coming out of a shoulder batch, in which case you can always enter immediately. with no extra input. But yeah, it does feel a little weird when you can't enter it immediately. But it's very much easy to control, so it's not too bad. On to our first boss here. Area 1's quite short. I messed up a little bit, but we're doing fine. So as I mentioned, the boss battles are kind of the main event of the speedrun. This first one's kind of simple. Really just kind of a waiting game here. Comes down. You'll shield and then hit him again. And now we get to wait for like 15 seconds. Whee! Oops, I messed that up. It's fine. It'll come down again. And we're not supposed to be on top of him now. You might have figured. He tried to shove us off, but we can just stay on. So from there, just hit his weak point 2 times and you're good. And yes, you're not supposed to do that. That saves about a minute over what you're supposed to do casually. Actually, no, more like 40 or 50 seconds, but it's still a pretty considerable time save. Just like that, we have our first boss emblem, and we're out of Area 1. Oops, I forgot to skip that cutscene. Oh no, I lost a few seconds. Oh no. Anyway. Let's just forget about the 20 seconds I lost in Fire Waterfalls. But anyway. Go back to Sea Captain Syrup, because now we've got to get Area 2. Now, Area 2 is kind of difficult, actually, for being an early game. For being fairly early game levels, they're quite difficult, to be honest. At least the latter two and the boss. But even the first one could be somewhat challenging. Especially with regards to the money. Just Plains, which is... It's a fairly accurate description. In German, that level's called Ebene, which I love. I really shouldn't be going out of my way for those copper coins there. They're only worth 10 each. They're kind of worthless. The silvers are worth 50, but yeah, to be honest, the small coins are not worth it unless they're your only option. The real gains in this level come from this room. Oops. And just for completeness' sake, the small gold coins are worth 100, I think. And this is actually a very short level, to be honest. Already about to go into the run back. Oops, got to dash. Would like to jump over that edge there. Something really about this game compared to other platformers is that Wario's movement is very snappy. In the sense that, like, he doesn't really have any acceleration. When you tap in a direction, he will start moving in that direction pretty much instantly. And when you are trying to jump, It's not like other platformers where once you let off the jump button, you'll still ascend a little bit. No, Wario will just stop ascending as soon as you let off that jump button. So it can be a little hard to get used to, especially when you're trying to like minimize your jump, save a little bit of time. In a bit of a deviation here, we've actually got a 4-minute auto-scroller now. And now this doesn't mean it's completely free, because you can still get coins during this auto-scroller. So that is essentially what I'm going to be doing. But to be honest, there's not too much else to do, really. I'm just kind of here for a bit, enjoying the ride. There are a couple split paths later on. But yeah. Once you learn which paths to take, like, it's not that bad. I should really be focusing on the jellyfish instead of the missiles. The jellyfish are worth 50 each. Every bit counts. But yeah, I've really not got too much to talk about for the next 4 minutes, so this is kind of awkward. I'm basically controlling this by tilting the Wii Remote to aim the submarine, the elegantly named submarine. And I am moving by pressing either left or right to move forward or backwards. That's pretty much it. In German, this is called the U-Boot, which I love as well.
Yeah, that thing sounds really silly.
Yeah.
Also, just to make you aware, after this level, I reopened the stream. I had some lag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can have a look at my bitrate, see what's going on there. Ah. One thing of note is that I can only have 3 missiles on the screen at a time, so I can't just fire them out as much as I would like. And this isn't entirely auto-scroller. There is a boss at the end of this, but it's very trivial in this level at least. The ones later on are a bit harder, but this one's really simple. And thankfully it's really easy to remember which paths to take, because in both this level and the other level like this, where we have to collect coins, the path is just top for the first one and then bottom for the second one, so it's really easy to remember, even if you take a really long break from the game like I did. In terms of coins, I want to be hitting about 37,000 here, and then just about to hit that. I'll admit I'm very far from the best at collecting coins in these levels. No, it's fine. So I want to line the nostril of the submarine up with this thing. And just do 10 missiles and you're good. That's it. It doesn't look like I was dropping any frames on my end, according to OBS. That's odd. Yeah, 0 dropped frames on my end. I don't know what happened there, in that case.
Yeah, it was on my end.
Let's go.
So I have to reopen the stream as soon as possible, so we aren't on a big delay.
Okay. Oh, you mean I should turn off and then restart the stream? Anyway, this is
And no, I will just re-pull it on my end.
Okay. So this is another rather big level and also quite a difficult one, Mount Lava Lava, which also has a really good soundtrack. That is kind of the theme of this game. Whoops, that's not intentional. There are a couple key skips we need to hit here, and other tricks. This section's kind of important. I really want to get that second pound out as soon as possible to stun the bucket on the right. And the thing about pounding the ground is that... Sec? Nice. Got that skip. A thing about pounding the ground is that you can only do it once your meter at the top, the W meter, is completely charged. And doing any movement will cause it to charge more slowly. So I pretty much want to be standing completely still on the first bucket while I'm waiting. And now, I wouldn't have normally grabbed that checkpoint if I were going for a PB. It's faster to just, you know, jump on top of it. But I'm doing that because if I mess this up, then I'm kind of just... If I mess up this run back, then I kind of lose the whole run. So, you know, I want a safety net. I almost actually screwed it up right there. We get all these coins, especially these last ones. The prize, the 2 diamonds right there. Missing those is just run over on the spot if you don't grab the checkpoint. And if you do grab the checkpoint, it's still a pretty big time loss if you miss them. Thankfully I got it first try. It's not too bad once you know what you're doing, but it's always kind of scary. And really any run back time that's
Roll.
So on to our last normal level of Area 2, Savannah Valley. And this level introduces... Actually, no, it doesn't introduce them. We've actually already seen them in Just Plains, but makes heavy use of these swinging poles. I would like that large silver. I'm gonna get that. Oh god, I'm quite slow now. I should still make the cycle. I didn't need to be that slow. Yeah, I can still make the platform cycle.
Okay, yeah, I had the 1065 frames to go up to my end.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, it might be because my capture card is quite high quality. I don't know. I know that my capture card definitely caused some problems for me, just because it's such, like, a high-quality capture card. I was struggling, my internet used to struggle to handle it, and I have to lower my bitrate myself. But, hopefully it's fine now. Oh, wait. You do not want to go too early there and hit those spikes, because that is a really embarrassing time loss to have. If you hit those spikes, you cannot, you know, bust through that section really quickly. You have to manually pound through every single one of those blocks. And want to ground pound here, because there are some coins down there. And this is quite a hard run back to optimize in the IL, because just so many swinging holes and, yeah, things. And also some difficult skips you can go for later on. I'm going to go for some fairly tame skips in this section. Hopefully I don't mess them up. Oops. A bit slow now, that might cause some problems. Okay, we still got it. So yeah, it's faster to skip a bunch of those poles there. Wait, whoops. Also, aim this cannon one tick to the right, because that prevents you from grabbing that pole. Makes it a little bit faster. Of note, if you're about to shoot out of a cannon but you realise you've aimed incorrectly, you can actually press 1 to cancel. So it's not the end of the world, because it can be quite hard to aim quickly with tilt controls. Speaking of tilt controls, this boss, it's something. This guy is the most infamous boss in speedrun. Not as bad now as he used to be, but 6 difficult hits I'm going to go for here. I'm probably going to miss them, to be honest. But yes, this is entirely tilt-controlled, this bucket I'm in. Ooh. Nice, I actually got them. The first 3 anyway. I'll explain a bit more if I actually get the rest. Ah, damn it, missed it. Okay, so if you miss the first of those hits, you can't go for the other 2. And I got unlucky, great. This is the only boss that has some kind of major RNG. And now that RNG used to be required, but now that we have those early hits, if you get all of them, which is down to skill, if you get all of them, then there is no RNG in this boss. Well, almost no RNG. In that last section there, that debris can cause you some problems that you can't really do anything about, but the rest of the fight is not RNG, and I didn't really get a chance to explain it, during the fight, but if you miss one of those fast hits, you are then forced to, he will then throw a 4th wrench at you, and there is a fairly high chance that that 4th wrench will hit you and prevent you from actually doing damage to him, which is why that boss kind of sucks. Thankfully, that was okay, I mean, at least I got the first set of hits. Can't complain too much. If you get none of them, then that's a problem. Alright, we're moving on to Area 3, which can be another fairly difficult area for early game. Arguably we're now in the mid-game, but that aside. I feel like all of the levels here are notable in some way, at least. They all have at least one notable section in them. So lots of little tricks and skips in this level, and tilt controls. Of note is that money bags now take longer to shake because they have more coins in them. Damn it. That was not supposed to happen. That's fine. I would have liked to shoot that drill enemy at that block. You can kind of make him glide across the ceiling if you throw him at the right angle. Unfortunately, I was 1 tilt too low. Or 1 tick too low on the throw. I didn't react in time. This section, I might have messed up there. Main event in this section is the flamethrower cycles. Unfortunately, I screwed up and missed a cycle. Little detour here to get a diamond. Whoops. Want to actually get it. That helps. Generally. We're closing on the run back now, but... oh, whoops. That was not intentional. This can be quite hard to get right. I messed it up. That is a pretty big time loss. You really want to get all of those hits in one go. I flew too close to the sun, kind of. If you go too close to that thing, it will just hit you for fire damage. It can really be kind of awkward to juggle that ball properly. And we got a couple coins to go on a detour for in this run back as well. I actually don't think you're supposed to go for those ones. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah, I think those ones are fairly slow coins. I forgot you're not supposed to go for them. Whoops. Unless you are. In which case, disregard what I'm saying. In 100%, you actually have to do this level in 2 trips. You can't complete all of the missions in one go in this level because you have to collect coins for the coin mission during the run back. And that just takes too much time, so you then don't hit the time mission. That's the sole reason why you have to do this level in 2 trips at 100%. And really, I should be bringing up more instances of when that's a thing, because, you know, 100% is a really interesting category. It's not one that I've managed to learn myself, but very intimidating category, to say the least. This game is quite difficult. This is, I think, the shortest level in Area 3. Little tilt control skip there. Oh, whoops. Of course, you want to ride those conveyor belts as long as possible, the ones that are moving in your direction. I completely messed that up. You want to jump far there, because if you don't jump far enough, that drill enemy will hit you and then send you all the way back down to the bottom. And just like that, we're already in the run back room. I messed that up. Whoops. Lost a cycle there. And that level was quite short, but the run back does have a couple places where we're going to go out of our way for coins. I intended to skid there and I accidentally turned around. Whoops. A touch right before I touched down. Oh well. So there's a diamond here. We have a way for. And this is actually one of the only transformations we see in this game. That's something that's notably absent from Shaker compared to the rest of the series, is transformations. We only have fire, like that. And later on, Snowball Wario. And that's kind of it. It's a bit of a shame. Me, I've not played the other Wario lands very much at all, so I never really had too much attachment to them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure longer time fans of the series are a bit disappointed about that. So yeah, actually a pretty lengthy detour in that level, because normally you can get that run back with 2 minutes remaining.
Roll.
This first room has some stuff going on already. Oh, no. That is not intentional. Whoops. I'm leaving the room to reload him because I majorly screwed up there. I threw him one tick too high. Supposed to just throw him straight there, so I can get up. This part can be jank. Thankfully it was not jank. I threw that early, whoops. Supposed to throw that a bit later. Oh. Accidental tilt. God, everything's going wrong in this level. Not uncommon, to be honest. Deceivingly... It's a deceptively difficult level. Sometimes. I kind of forget about this one a little bit, but it can be... It can be behind a lot of time loss sometimes. It definitely was in my PB. Thing about that first room is that you have to be pretty much completely still when you're waiting for the ball to come up to you at the end of it. Otherwise it just won't get up to you for some reason. Really awkward. And yeah, lots of tilt controls as well to cause problems. Ah, fairly tight jump I was going for, to be fair. Another little detour for a shiny. Ah. Nice. If you enter the latter half of an enemy's hitbox, you can just kind of get pushed by them, rather than having to bump into them. Oh, wait. There we go. Aim 3 ticks to the right and you skip that entire section, pretty much. Supposed to do some stuff to get the cage to come down, but you can just do that. My tilting has been all over the place this run. Kind of a helpful tip with trying to aim with tilt controls is I recommend holding the Wii Remote relatively flat when you're trying to tilt. Just makes it a little bit more accurate sometimes, even though it's still kind of iffy. A few things to go out the way for here. Also, when I'm in dash mode, I'm trying to jump over up slopes for obvious reasons. Slows you down. And also, if you jump off an upward slope at any point, in dash mode or otherwise, you will just lose a frame. Which mostly matters for ILs, which, to be honest, is mostly what I do in this game. Any percent's kind of a later venture for me. As long as you get 140 remaining on the timer, you can't go too wrong there. Now, something I've not mentioned yet is that I'm actually playing on the Wii U Virtual Console version, or rather Wii U eShop version. Because the loads are dramatically faster compared to playing on disc. Which is kind of a lame thing, but for this game, to be honest, going back to disc would be just almost unbearable. It's crazy how much faster it is. Now, I'm not exactly a scientist or anything, but given pretty much everything in this game is 2D, I can kind of see why it's so much faster. Feel free to correct me on that. I don't understand how this stuff works, but I figure that's why. Anyway, this level involves slot machines. At least in this section.
Yeah, I think it's also because it's digital compared to physical.
Yeah.
And the discs can get scratched easily, so scratch discs kind of also affect load times.
Yeah. To be honest, my Wii U is on the slower side. Like, I think my Wii U is kind of cursed, because my digital loads actually... I'm pretty sure my digital loads actually kind of suck for digital load standards. I've been honestly thinking about working on some way to do loader move timing for this game at some point this year, which I've done for DKC Returns on Wii as well. I think it's definitely worth it, to be honest, but I have no idea where I'd even start. I completely forgot my movement there. Whoops. That's fine. You can always touch those blocks even when they're not visible. Of course, it helps to have them visible, though. Very simple run back here. That slot machine, you can... This slot machine right there, you can actually get pretty much as many coins as you want from it. So going for a high coin score on this level is very much a real thing, because you're pretty much only limited by the timer, wherein if you run out of time, then bad stuff happens. But yeah, at the same time, it's not a very fun thing to go for, so I'm not sure if I'd recommend it. I did mess up the run back a little bit. I would have liked to see a one. I do like to usually see a 155 there on the run back. And now we're up to Chortlebot. This is one of the easier bosses in the run. But if I mess it up, then it... That's kind of the theme. If you mess up these bosses, then you tend to get punished pretty hard. I think it's especially the case in this one. If I can get it. Right, you need to ground pound his weak point 7 times. Only going to ground pound it 1 time here. You can normally do it 2. Because that prevents him from going into a later phase sooner. All subsequent times I'm going to do 2 pounds. And yes, you can hit him through these balls. Okay, nice. Now we need do 5 hits to knock him down. Oh, nice. So every time you knock him down, it takes 1 more set of hit. It takes 1 more hit each time. Last phase can be kind of janky. I'm not entirely sure why often the first hit doesn't count when you land on them in the last phase, but regardless, that was completely fine. And then there is a way you can actually land 5 hits at once, which is very difficult to do, and I've not actually done it myself. It saves about 10 seconds, but it's pretty much IL only. On that note, oh god, I wasn't looking at my coins. We're completely fine. Oh wow, we actually have a lot. Oh yeah, probably helps that I got, like, 1,500 that I wasn't supposed to get in Wreck Train. We need 200,000 coins by the end of Area 3. So we can buy the Area 5 map. And now you might be wondering, we just finished Area 3... We just finished Area 3, why are we going to Area 5 now? And the reason for that is because Area 4 kind of sucks for money. It's actually far more worth it to get enough coins to go to Area 5 immediately, and then reap the rewards of being in Area 5, rather than do the areas in order. Because, for example, a big money bag is now worth 7,000 in Area 5. As opposed to 3,000 in Area 1, for example. Whoops. This is a very simple level. Consequences that they now take really long to shake. But yep, 7,000 shinies right there for me. I don't need those 2 big silver sacks, I'll get them during the run back. Nice, I actually got that jump. It's quite a difficult jump to get. And we're already in the run back room. Have to knock that log into position for it to be usable. It's literally 1 copper coin. That was not worth it. Oh, nice. Fast money bag. Every fast money bag you get in Area 5 saves about a second or two. It's quite helpful. But yeah, for Area 5 standards, you know, being like the last world you're supposed to play, this is a remarkably easy level. Don't even input anything in this room. That's kind of the case for a lot of runbacks, like you just don't really even need to input anything in a lot of the rooms. Just like that, we're already done with that level. Now it is time for another auto-scroller, and this one's longer. Got 4.5 minutes of pretty much downtime here. Of course, we do have to get coins, though, still, during this one. Yeah, to be honest, there's really not much else to talk about in this one that I didn't already talk about in Wavy Waters back in Area 2. The coin scoreboard record for this one's pretty crazy. I'm nowhere near it. As I mentioned, I'm not good at collecting coins in these levels. I'm pretty good at the game, in general. Not at this kind of thing, though. I actually gotta be careful here, I don't want to die. If I take 10 hits, I'm dead. I've already taken 4. Oh dear. That's fine, I can play. I've got enough coins that I don't need to worry. And even if I didn't have enough coins, the final level, where I need to collect coins, actually has a backup of 1,000 right at the end. So, really not in any worries there. As long as I take the right paths, get the diamonds, I'll be fine. If I were to miss one of the diamonds, I'd be in danger. But you kind of have to try to do that, to be honest. This is also the only one of these submarine levels that actually has 2 boss fights, although the first one's a bit of a joke. And we're actually coming up on it right now in about 30 seconds. But yeah, I want to be just cautious about my health, which is... This diamond is pretty much asking for you to get hit. Like that. If you take half your health, then your ship submarine becomes broken, and that fails one of the missions. Look at that. That boss is an absolute pushover. That's the same boss as in Wavy Waters, but you need literally 5 hits to kill it. Instantly goes down. But yes, I want to be cautious about my health. If I take 5 hits, I'm gonna die as well. Yikes. Okay, that's fine that I missed that, actually. I've got more than enough coins in this run. I don't need that one as well. I would have been panicking if I missed that in an actual PB attempt, but this is not a PB attempt. These submarines are some of the most important enemies in these levels, because they drop 300 each. You know, if you're getting all the diamonds and the big gold coins, there's not much room for variation in your coins, but the best players can get, the best players at these levels can get consistently, like, a couple hundred more than I can. Now, because I missed a big gold coin here, I'm going to be a bit below target. Normally you want to have at least 43,000, and, I mean, this would have been over 43,000 if I got that coin. Okay, so the second boss here is a bit more involved. It's still not too bad, though, if you know what you're doing. I'm gonna set up here, on this top one. Now we're not moving anymore, so... Got that guy. And there we are. I'm just realizing that when you asked me to lower my mic earlier in the run, I actually lowered the volume of my capture card and not my mic. Sorry, I just made it really loud for a second. Whoops. That's weird, it's showing up on my end. Not sure what could be happening there.
Let's go.
Yeah, in my OBS it seems to be completely fine. That's odd. This is a rather nice level. Not too much really to go. Not too much can go wrong here, really. And this is the only instance in the run where we see Snowball Wario, our other transformation. When I'm swimming, I'm... Whoops, I screwed that up. Whenever I'm swimming, I am tapping in the opposite direction to cancel the swimming animation so I can instantly input another one, and it makes it a little bit faster than just, you know, doing it normally. And we're back in the run-back room. Ah, of course I'd screw that up. Ice physics. My nemesis. Little detour here, and that's pretty much it. Very little detour for coins in this level. I'm glad I have the stream to look back at, because I totally forgot to check how many coins I had before entering this level. Thankfully I'm completely fine for coins. If I planned in advance, I could probably even skip a few coins here, but that's fine. Shouldn't need to. Whoops. Do not do that. I forgot what I'm doing. Ah, totally forgot what I'm doing. Oops. Yeah, it's a little bit messy. This is the last normal level in well, where we have to worry about coins anyway. And did not get the pole strat this time. I did get that though, which is rather hard to get. Need to aim 2 ticks on this cannon. That is not 2 ticks. You kind of just get used to, well, ideally you just get used to how much you have to tilt each time. So yeah, coins are pretty much no longer a worry. I have more than enough. If I didn't have enough by this point, you know, if I'd remembered to check how many coins I had before going into the level, I could get that big cold coin in that room right there as a backup. Otherwise, it's completely fine. So now we have well over 150,000, which is enough to buy Area 4's map. And just like that, we're closing in on the end. Maybe 20 minutes of run left, I think. This boss is very important to get right. It also has probably the flashiest kill in the game, so I really hope I get this. I can explain it afterwards, but I want to focus for this. Okay, almost messed it up, but we got it. Alright, so... what you want to do in this boss is get... you need to throw 4 bombs into his mouth, pretty much. And if you throw 1 bomb into his mouth, his attacks will then... you essentially need to wait a bit longer before you can get another bomb out of him. In fact, it's actually quite significantly longer. So what you want to do is get 4 bombs immediately, which means you have to pretty much juggle enemies for the whole first half, which can be quite difficult to do considering you've got to, you know, really quickly aim with tilt controls and also, you know, shake the ground at the same time. It can be a whole lot to learn. It's very difficult to learn that fight, but it's not too bad to replicate. But yeah, if you mess it up, the fastest backup is actually just to restart, which costs about 35 seconds, at least on eShop version. Because it actually loses about a minute or more if you only get, say, 3 bombs. Very glad I got that, though. That's like the one thing that could have gone majorly wrong. And it did not go majorly wrong. Right, we're in the end game. Right, final area, which is actually the second to last area, but because the speedrun's a bit weird, we're doing it in this order. And as I hinted at, we actually no longer need to worry about coins at all, so these 4 levels are going to do just a straight dash to the end. Oh, nearly messed that up. I have to say Area 4 is probably my favourite area in the game. Which seems to be a bit of a controversial opinion, but at least among speedrunners, but I don't know, I really like this level, especially the secret levels that we don't see in any percent. Like that diamond, don't even need it. It's incredibly tempting, but don't need it. Don't be fooled. Bunch of quick shoulder bashes here. And that's pretty much it, we're already at the end. That's quite good, actually. Pretty much perfectly went between his platforms. Might be a fast run back time. I guess I could now talk about, you know, the IL side of things, because I tend to be more of an IL runner in my games, and there's definitely the case in this one. I've done a lot of run back ILs in this game. It's less applicable in full game runs, but yeah, it's definitely a pretty big side of the game, to be honest. And honestly, yeah, 150-90 is quite good for that. You can get a 151 with the safe strats. There is a faster strat that saves about a second at the end, but anything like 150.8 or above is really good for a run. It does lead to me sometimes going for kind of stupid movement that I probably shouldn't go for, but you know, other than that, it's pretty alright. And we got our last one of these auto-scrollers, except now I don't actually need coins, so I'm kind of just doing nothing for 4 minutes now. Which, you know, in the context of the run, this level's kind of just a breather, pretty much. I mean, obviously you gotta not die, but like that's pretty much it. It's not that hard, really. Not that hard, I say, except for the boss fight. Because this actually has the hardest out of the water bosses. So I guess more realistic is that during a run you're just panicking about the boss during this auto-scroller. I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge the music once again. This really sounds like credits music, but it's, you know, just in a normal level. To be honest, I can't even remember which way to go if I'm trying to go for a coin score in this level. I believe this path has a diamond. I've already taken half my health, I should be a bit more careful. Don't worry, I only got like... we're halfway through the auto-scroller now. More than halfway, even. Okay, I do want to at least pay some attention to my health. Let's go top right. I don't usually go top right. I believe it has a treasure. You can tell I don't play the other categories here. No, it doesn't. Absolutely nothing. Oh well. Okay, so the boss, it's certainly something. This might actually be the secret hardest boss in the run. In fact, I think it is, to be honest. So 3 targets. So 3 of the targets, except they're moving, which is a problem. There's somewhat of a setup here to get 3 hits on the middle one at the beginning. I missed them. Good job. And yes, the things open and close as well, so can't always hit them. Okay, to be honest, for my standards that's a bit better than average. Not the quick kill. The quick kill's insane. I've never gotten it, but I mean, that's okay. It's acceptable. Right, and now we can actually move on to levels that I have something interested to say about. Fairy Tale Castle is a bit of a unique level. It's definitely thematically quite a unique level. It's also got... It's got one difficult skip. Not much else to worry about though. Just one difficult section, which is right near the beginning, right here. Nailed it. So when you take damage, for the most part, you get sent in the direction you're facing. So you kind of need to fight against the conveyor belt in that area to pretty much skip an entire section. Oh god, I'm a bit slow. No! I did not make it. This room's not too hard to do, you know, get the cycle there, so... It's silly that I messed that up. It's okay, I messed that up in, like, the PB before my current one, which was ranked 4th. It's fine. Sometimes disasters happen. Especially when it's in the 4th to last level. But yeah, aside from that one section at the beginning, this isn't too bad of a level. Fairly relaxing one at this point in the run. I like the run back here. Ah, messed it up. I don't know why, I'm just really, you know... Me and ILs are like on the same wavelength. And I sometimes try to optimize stuff too much in RTA runs as a result of that. But I don't know, I really like optimizing this run back. Ideally I like to be getting a 259. That's pretty much the best you can get. 259 is a very good time to get on a run on this run back in the full run, but you know what, that works too. Right, our final normal level in the run. And a fairly difficult one too, definitely not trivial. Oops. I knew it. You grab onto that by tapping up on the D-pad, and I'm not exactly a fan of the Wiimote D-pad. Unfortunately, Wiimote is the only way to play this game. I think this game could have worked quite well with Nunchuck. You know, possibly even using a Nunchuck joystick as a way to aim when throwing things, or, you know, doing things with tilt controls, but Alas, we did not get that. You have to fight with the D-pad sometimes. Just gently put that enemy down there. This is another run back I quite like. And yeah, kind of an example of how a lot of the time you just do nothing in some of the rooms. A lot of the runbacks in this game, the ILs really come down to like you optimize like the first 2 rooms really well, and then that's kind of it. You do a couple jumps and then it's easy. That's how most of them go. But yeah, any mid 154 is fine there. Alright, this is one of the levels I'm worried about. This is quite an involved boss, and I fear I'm going to mess it up because I messed it up a little bit recently. I'll try and explain it as I'm going. It's quite complicated. It can be difficult to remember what exactly to do because we do a lot of stalling to build up some enemies, use as ammo. Right, immediately we want to stun the first guy and throw him back. And then grab this one before he gets killed. Just hold him for a bit. And let him do his thing. I want to get right up to him, wait for him to shoot Scorpion. And grab him before he gets killed. Okay, he didn't get killed, it's fine. Never mind, that aged really well. I wasn't expecting to screw it up this early. Okay, well, I have to improvise now. Somewhat. This is not what I was hoping would happen. Okay. Right, if I had done the fight properly, I would have a Bandinero, which is the little red guy. Never actually named them this whole run. If I had done this correctly, I would have one in reserve right here to basically throw over the blue barrier and get hit early, which would cancel pretty much this entire section. Saves maybe 7 seconds if you get that. It's quite precise, but yeah, I mean, I backed that up decently. Not too much now, just one more round of that before I finish this fight. And there is a crazy way you can actually skip that entire last section by pretty much doing a double enemy bounce over the barrier. I have no idea how it works, and it's extremely difficult, but it's a thing you can do. It saves like 15 seconds, and it's definitely not RTA viable.
Wario.
And what we're actually going to do now is we're going to reset the console. By console, I mean press this button.
Rock and roll.
Because that skips a bunch of cutscenes. So just like that, we picked up our last boss emblem, and we are now... whoops. I zoned out. Don't mind me. We are now fighting Shaking.
Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, oh
And now this boss has a lot to talk about. I'll do my best to explain as I go. But yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. You know, when you're playing this game as a kid, like, I was like 5 years old when this game came out. When you're playing as a kid, this guy is like the most intimidating thing ever. Right, we immediately want to jump over him. I'm probably going to mess this part up. Yep, I knew it. Well, that worked. That's fine. Not a massive deal. So most of his attacks you can cancel by pounding the ground. And in some cases that stuns him. And you want to pretty much stun him as much as you can. I'm going to hug the wall there. Oh god. I messed that up. That's not how that's supposed to go. Ah! I'm majorly messing this up. Okay. I've gone really off script here, haven't I? Wow. Okay, that's fine. I can bring this back. Right. Stun opportunity here. Right, he's going to charge again. Okay, unfortunately I messed that up. I didn't really get to talk about some of the stuff I would have liked to talk about. He's gonna do that. Okay, yeah. When he does that, you'd like to ultimately be pretty much hugging the wall, because that will cause him to stay in place and actually not go across the whole screen. I'm just noticing I need to be really careful here because I am not on good health. I would really like to not die, because that would mean I can't make my estimate. Maybe I gotta focus here. If I know what I'm doing, this part shouldn't be too bad. Now you need 3 hits to stun him. And to be honest, most of this section is just waiting. This attack is pathetically easy to avoid. For such an intimidating, like, looking section, this attack is really incredibly easy to not get hit by. Stun him again. Or rather get rid of his attack. These electric balls are my nemesis. If you're going for damageless in this fight, these electric balls really cause so many problems. Let's play safe. Alright. Because I do believe those electric balls actually hit for a full heart instead of half. But yeah, gotta take your time there. And what we're doing is just a single round, another round of that pretty much. So that entire sequence that ended with me throwing into the wall, doing that all again, and time will end when I throw him into the wall the second time. Should be in a couple seconds. Okay, and boom. I wish I had gotten the timer on my end, because I actually have no idea what the time on that is. I think the stream time's probably a little inaccurate. That's just a silly move on my end, but I think that's probably like a 126 or something, which is okay.
Yeah, 1 hour, 27 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, I think I did a I played a 127 the other day, and this run felt like at least considerably better than that. So I'd say this is probably a 126, but of course I was a fool and forgot to record it. So I actually will never know. Oh well. It doesn't matter that much. My PB is a 123. Considering that's like I did very little D-Rust, I should have done more. But I mean, okay, at least I hit my estimate. That's all I care about. I tend to give myself fairly tight estimates. This is probably my easiest estimate I have in this whole marathon, but you know, at least I still hit it. I don't have too much else to say other than that this credits music is really good. As is kind of the theme with this game. Great soundtrack. Great game, honestly. I highly recommend learning this one if this rather scuffed run interested you in any way. Definitely I'd say, just looking at the other Wario Land games, this one seems like one of the easier ones to pick up. I think it's definitely quite approachable. You know, if you kind of segment it so that you learn any percent... If you say, like, learn 2 levels a day, you can learn any percent in about 2 weeks, which I think is pretty manageable. And it's definitely a pretty fun run. Just don't think too hard about the 4.5 minutes before you can control Wario. I really don't have too much else to say about this game, so I'll hand it back over to you, and catch me in a little bit, where I'm going to be running our next game as well.
Yeah, thanks for the great run. We are moving into intermission to make the setup, and we will see us back soon.